collectors, it's Chris the Batman Statue Collector, and welcome back once again to Brotherhood of the Bat Collectibles. And I am so incredibly pumped today, and I hope you are too, because we're going to be doing a first on YouTube review thanks to collector Leo, who just received his 1/3 scale Lobo DX from Prime 1 Studio. Now this has been such an anticipated piece over the last well over 2 years since he actually was premiered. We even interviewed the sculptor. It's of course Romel Chopra. I will put the link up here if you ever missed it. It was actually our second episode of Rogues Gallery Live over 2 years ago. Can you guys believe that? But it was so cool to be able to interview him and give his insights on how he sculpted it. So if you want to check that out, please do so above. I think you're going to absolutely love that interview. And again, I can't believe it was our second episode. We got an artist like that on the show, which was absolutely amazing. But I'm so incredibly excited. Now, of course, Leo does not like to appear on camera, so I'm going to share my thoughts on this piece, but I'm also going to be sharing his thoughts because he had some major gripes about this piece compared to the prototype for what he actually received in hand. Now, he is a major Prime 1 fan. He collects almost every single 1/3 scale DC piece that they release, and he has been a massive fan of Prime 1 and still is, but he does have some nitpicks about this piece, and so he wanted me to share those thoughts as well as my own. So without further ado, let's check it out. Alright guys, so here is the official footage from Leo, and Leo also provided a ranking system for how he felt about all of these pieces with the statue. And so again, thank you Leo for this. We're looking at the base right now. He did feel like this base was around a 60 to 70 out of 100 score. He said he felt like this was a standard Prime 1 base, and I understand what he's saying. A lot of grays, a lot of rock work. I think there's a tremendous amount of detail that we're seeing here, and I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing. So he felt like it was, standard for what Prime 1 has been doing, which I think is very good quality. You can see these, the paint application here. The valves look really good in my opinion. I like the rust effect to them. The texturing is really well done. I just think the base looks very, very good for what it is. It is a sizable base because this is a sizable character. Again, 1/3 scale. I love the skull in the base. I think that looks really good. And again, just from top to bottom, I think there's a lot of great details here. And again, he felt like it was about a 60 to 70 out of 100 score. Just looking at the footage, I would maybe rank it more in the 80s. That's just me. But overall, I think it looks pretty darn awesome. You see Dawg in the back. We're going to talk about him in just a second. He also felt like the body itself was a 60 to 70 out of 100 as well. He felt the skin color had a bit of a problem, just a little bit too much purple in it. It just really, in real life, looked a little bit too purpley to him, and he thought that maybe the body elements were maybe just a little bit rushed here. Overall, you can again see a lot of texturing, a lot of details here. But again, Leo did feel like it was just a bit rushed, and he felt like maybe they were biting off a little bit more than they could chew. But anyway, he just wanted to be objective and share his thoughts. Again, I think the paint overall looks pretty good. Again, I'm not seeing it in person, so I can't say for sure. I do trust Leo's opinion. But again, body for this one, he scored a 60 out of 70 out of 100. Again, I would probably, if I was ranking this, would probably do 75 to 80%. But that's just, again, me. Lots of great details with the gun. It's really fun. As we get closer to the portrait and the actual body itself, this is where he felt like the statue struggled the most. He said this was less than 60 out of 100 for the portrait. He just felt like it lacked a little bit of detail and it didn't have the same proportion as the prototype. From here, I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Of course, sometimes we do lose a little bit of detail from the prototype. I also think the chain itself around his arm doesn't look as good as the prototype in my opinion. It was a little bit darker to me. It didn't look just as clean. Maybe if it had some paint to it, some texturing there, I think that would have been cool. Obviously, it's a real chain, but it's a little too clean in my opinion. The body itself, again, I think it has so much detail here, and maybe it could have benefited for some more detailed time working on this for the price point. Collectors do really expect the absolute best in quality, and if certain statues are not as good, then sometimes people are less likely to buy, unfortunately. But I do feel like the paint overall, at least on camera here, looks pretty darn good. He also felt like Dawg was a little bit rushed with the paint work on him. He also gave this a 60 out of 70, 60 to 70 out of 100 score here, and felt like, especially around the mouth, Dawg did suffer a little bit. So let's take a look at the portrait a little bit more. So what do you guys think? What do you think here? I think that the portrait looks really darn awesome, actually. This, of course, is the regular here, the one with him biting his lip we saw earlier. I think this looks really good. I can see maybe where there's a little bit of less detail, but you can see, though, here's the other portrait I was talking about. Maybe the hair could have been shaded a little bit better. You know, it's just kind of a matte black. But in my opinion, again, I'm not seeing this in person, but I think on film here it looks really quite impressive. Again, maybe not quite as good as the prototype. And again, Leo did give this portrait less than 60 out of 100, so obviously he feels like in person it's just not quite there like some of the other portraits have been. And again, he is such a massive fan of Prime 1 and has so many pieces. It says a lot if he is saying that this one isn't quite as up to par. Here again is Dawg. Again, he gave this a 60 to 70 out of 100, especially around the mouth area. You guys can see that maybe it could have been worked on a little bit more, but I think it looks pretty darn good overall. Again, for the price point, though, you do expect just about the best. This was his biggest thing here. He absolutely loved this. Exceeded expectations on these space dolphins. I think it looks really, really good here. I love the purple. It really pops in the color. And he said, if you don't get Lobo, get these dolphins because they're phenomenal. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But he was really impressed with how this looks. So up next, I've got some photos from him, and then we'll wrap it up, guys. Alright guys, so there you have it. I think it's an incredible piece from Prime 1 Studio. I understand Leo's gripes though. There are definitely some differences between the prototype and what was actually in hand. But overall, I think the statue, in my opinion, still looks really, really impressive. Although it would have been nice to have maybe some better paint apps overall. Leo felt like it was rushed, and maybe it was because I know Prime 1's trying to get so many things out. But I can say from my personal experiences, Ivy, Batman Who Laughs, Bane, some of the most recent pieces that I've received in my collection have been spot on paint-wise. Absolutely fantastic. So anyway, I think this one still looks really good, but I want to know your thoughts down below. Do you guys think it's a hit or miss? Do you think it looks as good as the prototype? I would really like to hear your thoughts and opinions on this piece because I'm just so excited for everybody that's picking this one up. And hopefully you're not disappointed whenever you get it in hand. We'll see. Time will tell. Of course, in the United States, we're probably a couple months out from getting that in. But anyway, I'm excited about the piece. I think it looks awesome. And again, I want to know your thoughts down below. Thank you guys so very much for watching. If it's your first time watching today, please consider hitting that subscribe button, hit that like button, and click that notification bell. Make sure you choose all. That way you don't miss any of this content. And just thank you guys so very much for checking out this content today. I love you guys. You're amazing. Thanks again to Leo for the incredible footage, and we'll see you next time right here in the Batcave. Bye, everybody. Hey guys, thank you so very much for watching today, and if you're new here, please hit the subscribe button right here on the screen and check out these two awesome videos. I think you're going to love them. And also please join us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I would love to have you join in all the fun. Thank you guys so very much for watching. See you in the Batcave.